You froze, Florburn. I don't know if you know it. Can you hear me?
Oh, is it me? Did I tap
Yeah,
out or you? It
you
was
had
me,
froze
right?
for a minute.
It was me. Okay. Um, I know you have a different take on the National Guards, but I would like to hear your take because I know people were telling me, but I want to hear your take on the National Guards being distributed because at first they were distributed in DC. Now, I don't even think it's DC anymore. I'm going to ask you that question as well. Is the DC taken off of Washington? Because I heard word on the curb, Rod, is that they took the DC off of Washington. So I'm going to ask you that and then ask you what your take is on why it's in 19 states and what reasoning that's for.
Okay, so um, Washington is Washington DA, the District of America.
Okay. Oh,
With, okay, now remember all roads lead to Rome. Before it was
yes.
Washington D.C., it was Rome,
Yes.
right? Okay, now to overthrow Rome, you have to overthrow Washington D.C. Admiralty jurisdiction.
Interesting.
Okay, now in order to give it back to the tribes, you have to go back through the different stages of government that took you away from the tribal standard, what we call the law of the land.
So we're receding. That's what you're saying. We're receding.
Right. It's the return. So the republic has to overthrow the corporate legal fiction.
Snap.
District of Columbia was the legal fiction that was created with the secondary constitution that was written in the blood of Crispus Attucks. That was the 200-year contract. The Constitution that establishes DC is in the George Washington Masonic Memorial, and the blood is fading now, along with the feathers of the dirty Moors that came over here.
Yeah.
The chiefs that they was up against is in a mural. The mural is pointing is it's a painting of Carlos V, and it got the Inca chiefs on there. Inca mean people in
Yeah.
English.
Yes.
Right? So it's got the chief of the people of the land, right? Carlos V is on there because he was the one who was wagering the bet with King George of whose side would prevail after the 200 years of miseducation and misdirection of who we were. Carlos V believed that it would be the chiefs of the land. King George, representing the 32-degree Scottish Rite, believed that his boys was untouchable in this game that they playing. Everybody got amnesia. Let's see who could figure it out from a place of pure ignorance. And so all of the representation is in place to play the great game. It's a chess game, fifth dimensional chess,
Hmm.
played in a three-dimensional reality, right? And it's to control the systems: economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health. Health is the common denominator because don't none of the rest of them have any value if you don't have good health,
That's right.
right? So health is the common denominator to all 9 areas of people activity as described by Dr. Neely Fuller in his United Independent Compensatory Code System for breaking the chains of white supremacy.
Mm.
So when he give you the outline of the 9 areas of people activity, then I tell you health is the common denominator to them all. That's 10 areas of people activity, which is equivalent to the 10 Buddhist scrolls in the journey to the West. The challenge to Lord Hanuman, aka Sun Wukong, the Monkey King.
Mm.
So to come to the West to find out what's the cause of the oppression, you have to first reach the heights of wisdom. You have to escape the Buddhist palm, also known as the Hamza palm,
Yes.
right? Which has the all-seeing eye of
Um,
protection
yes.
in the center, as
Hmm.
well as the Buddhist foot,
That's right.
right? In the African tradition, you use it to fight off something called the Mingi.
Mm.
Mingi is the evil eye.
Yes.
The evil eye is the one who's wishing bad on you while you trying to do what's right.
Hmm. Giving you that side eye.
Yeah. So when we come full circle, all of the myths of the world converge on America at this particular time and era to
Mm.
recover us from the amnesia and to inspire us to use independent thought and believe in the power of the self to overcome the weaknesses of the ego.
Question. It's interesting your take on what's occurring, and I resonate with it. Do you think because there's a interdimensional or galactic aspect that's on the back lay, do you think treaties or not treaties, there were things that are being done now that have to do with the presence that is now coming online and things are being uh like people's VIP passes are being revoked, things are being reestablished, things are being revisited because of that presence?
100%. So you gotta upset the justice sometimes to establish peace. You
Yes.
gotta you gotta break people out of the norm in order to establish a new norm. They gave us a norm that was destructive to who we were. We just
Yes.
have to return back to who we were and then and override their systems.
Interesting.
The system override is you embracing your sovereign capacity
Hmm.
to not be anybody's servant, slave, etc.
When I speak about ancient Kemet or, the colonized name of Egypt and its placement of being in northern Africa, do you think that's like a bait and switch? Because I feel, you know how I feel. I feel like United Fakes, as we see it today, is the center point, is ground zero of consciousness and of the ancient world. I actually think it is the ancient world of Kemet.
Well, America goes back further than Kemet. Kemet is like it's a military outpost of America that was
Yes.
put in place by Tahuti. You can read about it in the Emerald Tablets,
Okay.
right? He came from America, went over there and settled Kemet,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
The
all
ancient
of
Sumers.
the writings in Kemet say it was established by Tahuti.
So we're going as far as ancient Sumer, right?
Nope. Sumer is the cause of them setting it up, right? Because
Oh,
that's when Enlil's children start coming in to take over Earth. Inky
interesting.
tells Tahuti, who his dwelling place is the Americas, was taking place, and asks him to build a military outpost to overlook what's being built in Sumer.
Interesting.
But first, he had to subdue the locals,
Mhm.
right? So when he go through that, he used high technology that they perceived as a superpower,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So while they watching Sumer, because you got to remember this is where all of the um, Babylonian corruption emerged from.
Mhm.
right? So before that, it was under the rule of Ahura Mazda, which is Inky. Thus spoke Zarathustra. Zarathustra is another name for Mazda, is Inky, the wise one. Right? So now the Anunnaki's contract on Earth concludes a 6,000 year contract. That's why they say the devil has 6,000 years to rule. Devil mean enemy. It don't mean no little spooky dude with horns. It don't mean no grotesque figures coming out of your wall. Devil just mean enemy, adversary, opponent.
Yes.
That's what it means. And anybody that's against your highest good is your devil. So once you
Yeah.
realize that the devil is just the opponent that's fighting against you, do you even know what you're fighting for?
Mm,
If you don't know what you're fighting for, it's easier for them to fight against you because all they got to do now is keep you confused about what you're fighting for.
that's right. And give you a new fight every 6 months. Yeah.
And that's why they want us to come out, march, and protest.
Oh yeah, I told you the new George Floyd is free Palestine. Even though every Congo is burning and genocide is happening, Somalia is happening, but it's free Palestine because that's the new George Floyd. Floyd. They always have these catch. Not to say nothing's happening there. I got to keep saying that, but it's just they do that. They resurrect a new type of theme, so that they can run a psyop on your mind, and then they can hold your attention to guide it in the arena that they feel is most suitable for them.
Yeah. So most people think when you say the word false flag, it means it didn't happen and they just acted like it happened. That's not what it means.
No, it happens.
False
Yeah.
flag just means that they took a situation, blew it out of proportion for propaganda warfare
Yeah.
in order for them to compel you to support them in doing some dumb shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which people gladly donate their time to, because social
Yeah.
engineering is real, and with toxic food, hybridized food, chemtrails, things that
That's
kind of,
why
yeah,
I used to tell people, wait till the gossip circle get a hold of this stuff. I'm saying it's gonna be over with because it's gonna fat. It's gonna move faster than the forest fire.
yeah, yeah,
Because now they got something to gossip about with receipts.
yeah.
Oh man, look at here. What Houdini say you had to tell Sarah? And she told Carol. Then the story rolled on, just like a wheelbarrow. Carol told Easy what he thought she heard, and somehow Easy E got the word. And he told somebody I knew from uptown, and they called me up and put me down. Now the whole damn story's been changed around.
That's how it goes, right? Right through the. Remember the walkie-talkies we used to have? They were called cups, paper cups, and you just put a string across, and
Yeah,
then go across the word, and no message was ever the same.
no. Or you ever see them do the whisper in one person's ear, and then when they get to the end, the statement is totally different.
But it don't even match whatever it started off with. Yeah, classic.
But you know, there's a contingency for that.
What?
You count the number of people,
Mm-hmm.
and you listen to what the last person said, and you know that's not the right answer. Deductive reasoning. You look at the condition of the people that's talking. If you know all of the people, you know what the original statement was. It got
Oh, you're
twisted out of
right.
proportion.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
The
absolutely.
only way it don't work if you don't know the people.
That's true. Because oh, Susan, she likes to elaborate. She likes to expound a lot. She likes to add a lot of embellishment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Tom, he want to make everybody gaslit, so he gonna add something to the mix. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to hold you too long, Rod, because I like to be a good host, But I would like to answer, if you'd like to answer questions, if you'd like to.
let's go.
A couple. A couple? Okay. So I'm gonna, if I can, I'm gonna ask for our amazing Everyone, thank you for everyone. Everyone's excited. You're here. So if you have any questions, I'm going to add you to the mix. We're only going to do a few. So let me add you to the live, and I just ask that you ask one question, because again, if we want to get at least 2 or 3 people in and ask Rod a question while he's here. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta add it. Okay. Now, if you come in, let me get a waiting room. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I didn't put a waiting room. Let me put a waiting room in here because then everybody will come in and just pop in. Hold on. With you. Let me put a waiting room. There we go. Okay. Then I'll put it. So come in. Don't be shy. Oh, darn it. It's too long. Hold on. Mon Dieu, mon Dieu, mon Dieu. Alors. Hold on, y'all. I put in too long a link. Sorry.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to go back to the question about the National Guard. So
Please,
the Republic, when the Republic comes to the reestablishing and the purging of the deep state, before they can get rid of the police, which is a foreign military occupying force, they had to secure the land with the National Guard, so we don't need the police. Because the police work for the Crown of England, they don't work for us. The judges don't either. So all of them going to eventually have to be shut down too, right? And this is why you seeing they got these people from the Department of Justice putting all of the cities on public notice, right? Because they haven't been following the Constitution. And according to the Declaration of Independence, we got a right to dissolve the government if they fail to uphold the Constitution. They failed to uphold the Constitution, and now the tribes are actively dissolving the constitutional government, right? And the reason why they picked 19, it's a sacred seal Islamic reference. The sacred seal means the final stamp, Alpha and Omega. Because it's only 9 numbers.
I didn't know that. All right. We have our first person. That's Aqua. She's coming on in. Coming in, Aqua. Hey, Aqua. Hey, C-Star. Looking cute.
Hey,
my breed. Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Hey, Chief Ron. Oh my gosh, I'm finally going here because I couldn't ask the question the last time because they wouldn't let me in.
Okay, well let's ask the question this time then, since they let you in.
I know, right? My question is, okay, I don't know if you ever got asked this, but this is for my family. So on my family side, my matriarch side, we are Lakota and Sioux Indian. And or Sue. But I knew that since I was younger, but I do not know a lot about because we are my ancestors are Chief Sitting Bull. So I don't know a lot about Sitting Bull.
So Sitting Bull actually reincarnated as Christopher Wallace, aka the Notorious B.I.G. And the reason why Tupac Amaru reincarnated as Tupac Amaru Shakur was publicly lashing him, he had to agree to it first. He publicly lashed him because in the history, Sitting Bull waited until the enemy had overrun him before he notified the rest of the chiefs. And he used to like to sit in his chair. If you Google childhood pictures of Biggie, or just type in Biggie Small sitting, you're going to see all these pictures of him sitting down in the chair. And then when you look up his zodiac sign, you're going to find out he was a Taurus, the bull. Right? Now, the original Sitting Bull was a war chief, but he's only authorized to go to war if it's signed off by a peace chief. And the history they gave us was just enough where we barely recognized the energy when he returned. So they playing Biggie and Tupac is playing out this East Coast West Coast entertainment story to show you a historical return of an energy. Like ODB was using the Chief Crazy Horse energy, right? Geronimo was Geronimo Pratt, right? And it's a whole bunch. I can name at least 100 of them. But we all had to go into this amnesia, and Sitting Bull was one of the reasons we had got overrun to the level we did, because he didn't believe the threat was as great as it was. So that's why we was called to war by Big Mama instead of by the war chief.
Okay.
But it's a lot of writings on Sitting Bull. I think I read at least 3 biographies from different authors.
Yeah, we're up to like 4 generations. So great grandmother is part of Sitting Bull. I just don't know anything further.
Yeah, well, he came back to collect on the debt. That's all I can tell you about that. He came back to collect on the debt. Because he's, this how he is. We don't get you in this lifetime, we'll be back. That's why they can't never beat us.
Because we keep coming back and back and back.
We gonna keep coming back till we win. And the game ain't over till the game is over, and we'll run it all the way up to the last minute on the clock before we shoot the buzzer shot.
I know that's right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aqua. I'll see you later on Zoom. Tomorrow. The day after. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. We have one more. I think can you, hold on. Let me. Okay. Okay. And then we'll have, sorry. And then we have Alex. Okay. So come in, Alex. Alex? Nope. Yes, maybe. Hello. Says 3.
I only see just me and you.
Me too. Oh, he's joining. It's taking a minute. Okay.
Right? Because he was working for the bankers in Switzerland. The banks that they use as the front banks is the World Bank International Monetary Fund, but those are just gateway banks. The big bank is called the Scottish Bank. It got another name to it. Scottish something bank.
It's the same bank they show you in Harry Potter. Let's put that in your brain. The Harry Potter, when he go get his underground with a goat, where all they open the vaults. They got in Switzerland. These guys.
Okay, now the bank, the World Bank and International Monetary Fund's owners didn't live there. Right? They had recipients there and some high-ranking board members, but the top owners of IMF, International Monetary Fund, WB, the World Bank, we lived in a place called the Isle of Man.
Go ahead.
The Isle of Man was a small island that they use for diplomatic purposes to keep them concealed while they do all of this dirt. So Obama got the stand-down letter from the Pope. We went over that, didn't we, Elder?
Yeah, we got the whole story down.
Okay, now, the reason why the Pope wrote the letter was because Obama was trying to get the Pope to allow them to reconstitute the treaty with Morocco. Now remember, when the Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed, there was no country on earth called Morocco.
Go ahead.
There is no ancient Morocco. There was no country before the 1900s, nowhere on earth called Morocco. But there was, out of Spain, something called the Royal Moroccan Company. It was called Rex Al Maroc something, but it translated into English as the Royal Moroccan Company.
Go ahead.
Right? There was the people of Morocco wasn't called Moors in ancient times. That's modern. But you attach the word ancient to Moor in order to give the illusion that we've been called Moors for eons, and it's not true.
Yeah, I disagree partially with you on that, bro. I think Moor is pretty old, and I already did a whole tape on it. AI did a whole tape on it.
Now you got to remember, MUUR and MOOR is two different words from two different backgrounds with two different etymologies.
In linguistics, O and U is interchangeable.
That's modern Grimm's Law grammar.
Man.
Right? You got to remember that.
Go ahead, Roy.
That's Grimm. Look, Grimm's. Hold on. Do you know who Brother Grimm is?
Never heard of him.
Okay, now, you ever heard of some fairy tales called Grimm's Tales?
Uh-huh.
Well, they started writing the rules for translation in the 1600s. They was the fairy tale writers of the Three Little Bears, which was taken from older writings from Aesop's fables. They reworked them to use different animals based on the geography. Well, it was Grimm's Law says all vowels are interchangeable in translation, but it's more to it than that. The translation had to be from a Semitic language to a non-Semitic language, or an ancient language. It doesn't carry over from French to Spanish, the same as we do from Hebrew to English. Right? When we wasn't calling ourselves Moor, MOOR, and normally the ones MUUR that you refer to, they call themselves Amaru because they had to preface it. Right? Amaru is the preface of the ones who come from the city of Mu. It's called Amaru. They weren't calling themselves Moor. They would call themselves Amaru, but only when they write it out in the pictographic writing will you see that it was a preface before the MUUR. And most of the time they didn't even refer to themselves as that because the ones who was classified as the royal family referred to themselves as Nagas, Nagas, which became translated as serpent, but that's not what it means. Right? In ancient times, Nagas didn't mean serpent. It meant royal bloodline or royal family. Right? It's just like they think everybody in Kenya was royalty. They wasn't. Everybody over here wasn't royalty. Some of them peasants couldn't wait to sell out the royal families from over here. When you see the word RES, that means royal in Latin. REX, that means royal. Right? So when you say stuff in English, right, when they say Rex 87, the Lord Alpha plan, Rex 87, readiness exercise is what it's short for, but Rex means king.
Yeah.
Lord Alfred became King Alfred. Right? And so they call it Rex 84 when it was actually King Alfred plan. The King Alfred plan was the blueprint to lay out to get rid of us by taking the leadership out of the community by locking them in prisons. It's still right there. You can still read REX-84, written by Oliver North and Poindexter, before the Iran Contra. That's how it came out at.
Yeah, I got a tape on that. I just put a
Right.
tape
It
out.
came out. It came out during the Iran Contra, and most of the people used to believe it wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
The first people who was teaching it in the Rex 84 program defense was the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam said we had to protect our leader. This is what the FOI was so instrumental. We got to protect our leaders from the King Alpha plan, is what they was calling it at the time. We didn't know about Rex 84 yet. We thought them brothers was totally batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We barely knew about COINTELPRO. And if it wasn't for the Nation of Islam pushing for the Freedom of Information Act, we would never have got access to that information.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll still be fighting in the dark right now. Like, most of us don't even know that the legal teams that was handpicked by Elijah Muhammad became the ones who pushed to get the Freedom of Information Act to be able to reveal hidden secrets to the public. We don't know that was Elijah Muhammad pushing some attorneys to do, some civil rights attorneys that y'all thought were part of the NAACP, the Rainbow Coalition, and all of that stuff. We didn't know Elijah had that reach.
Hey, Rod, this the point I want to clear up though, because I can't let it go on without saying all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you gave me the George Washington challenge. In the George Washington challenge, it says the Moors. I'm gonna do this to the Moors. So, like, we can say how old they go and all that, but I'm talking. We can let's deal with now. The George Washington challenge said they gonna go out to the Moors, stop the Moors from knowing who they gonna be. Am I lying?
No, you're on point. I'm with you.
All right. Now, the COINTELPRO operations. You know all about the COINTELPRO, Killer Clowns.
Mm-hmm.
In their operations, their main study, their library, they got the most information on the Moors. Why? And if they're instrumental in protecting the Federal Reserve, the North Gate, and they studying the Moors, why are they doing it? Why are they doing it?
Okay, first we gotta go back to the George Washington challenge first.
But we're doing by saying Moors not that old, it makes it like Moors not relevant today. When we say Moors,
the Moors are absolutely relevant today, and here's why.
You know what I'm saying, so we got to make that clear too.
Remember we did the catch term. Moor is a catch term.
Yeah, I remember.
Remember that class? Yeah. Okay, now they classified conquistadors, Huguenots,